Okay, this is week 5, I think, of the Wailord Draft Community League. It is the second game that the Aberystwyth Alcremies are playing in this tournament. And you know, after we lost to Matrix in, I think, week 4, as we stepped in with, I think, a 0-3 record, that was pretty much the chance of playoffs gone. But nonetheless, we are playing to win. And in this week 5 matchup, we are playing Angel. Now, this is the first time that we've played each other, so I don't know anything about her playstyle. So this is all new territory for me. I think the team that I'm bringing for week 5 is significantly better than the team that I brought for week 4. There are a couple of changes that I want to make, or wanted to make, that I couldn't make in time for round 4. But round 5, I have Blastoise. All right, and Blastoise is going to play a surprisingly important role in this game. As it opens, I'm just going all for it. We have Zoroark powered up with choice specs, and we have the Volbeat. And like the Volbeat has worked exceptionally well for me on ladder. Like in like VGC, I've taken Volbeat to some tournaments this year. It has been exceptional in terms of its utility. Is it better than Whimsicott? No, but it's still awesome. But here we are just going to go all out for, I think we play Helping Hand. Yeah, we go Helping Hand on this one. And it's a bit of a gamble because I don't know how quick these things are. So the Electrode outspeeds us, and that's what I was worried about. I felt it was a bit of a gamble, but they go for Reflect, and it's like, Reflect isn't going to do anything here. And so with the Terra Normal, the Specs, and the Helping Hand, there's not much they can do. And when I played that, I mean, I was cackling to myself because it was very much a case of, well, I can probably get away with that once. And then I tried it for game 2 and for game 3. We just kind of stuck with it because once it gets off, I mean, that combination of the Helping Hand play is absolutely devastating. And then I see what's coming out here, and I'm thinking at this point, okay, so they've got the potential of a Trick Room play, but you know what, we're just going to go for the same thing again. Or do I go for the same thing? I've got Rain Dance as an option. Yeah, so I go Rain Dance rather than Helping Hand. And this is probably where I should have learnt about Zoroark's limitations here. No. Well, okay, so I changed my mind, clearly, and then went for Helping Hand. But it also still shows Zoroark's limitations, because what I'm thinking is just going to automatically decimate Torkoal does not. Now, I don't know what Torkoal was carrying, so Torkoal Terra's Water, but that's not going to make a difference one way or the other in terms of what's coming in on it. But, you know, the move that came in and took out the first 2 Pokemon is going to hit hard, because I'm, of course, expecting Trick Room and then Eruption. That seems a logical play from here. You've got 2 slow Pokemon. There's the potential of a Chlorophyll speed boost, but generally speaking, Trick Room seems the better option here. Ninja Turtle is taken out almost, and then we get crit. And it's like, and there are going to be, I'm going to say, there's going to be my fair share of crits. But no, I mean, they were not a fair share of crits. I get a lot of crits landing against me in this one. So Zoroark is dead and out of the game, and Torkoal is just about holding on. But like, Torkoal wasn't taken out of the game. He was just like hanging on there with a couple of hit points left. But then we bring out Blastoise, and I'm a little bit worried at this point because the Egghead is obviously a threat, and I can't Terra Blastoise. I can't actually remember what Terra type I went for Blastoise on this, but probably wouldn't have helped if like aggressive grass moves start coming in. But we have the advantage of Rain, so Rain Dance comes in. We have whatever that item is that boosts water moves attached onto the Blastoise, and you know, Muddy Water lands. It's enough to finish off the Torkoal, and then I'm facing off against the coconut tree. Executor comes in with a psychic move, and I was not expecting that. I was fully expecting a grass move to land in and take him out. And then at this point, I'm thinking, okay, I've got Pokemon in the back. Let's try a Hydro Cannon. And so we tee up Hydro Cannon with Helping Hand in the water, with the boosted item, and Hydro Cannon is just going to close out game one. And that's, for a not very effective move, that's a devastating end to game one. And at this point, it's like, okay, that's good. Because like on my last outing, it was 2-0 defeat to Matrix. And, Matrix is a very strong player, but you always worry a little bit, thinking, is my game too rusty? But, we've won a game. Excellent. On to game two. And I'm thinking, you know what? There are probably ways that they have to counter this, but it was so effective. Do you ignore this? Do you ignore the play, or do you give another crack? And I just think I took the gamble to go for the same play, same lead, different sides of the field, but the same lead for game two. And what we're going to see is that there were ways of countering this. And I'm going to put my hands up here and say this is bad prep on my part, because I had zero awareness of what Overquill could do. I completely forgotten. I was like checking during the game what Overquill could bring to this match. I was not prepared for, here's the Helping Hand, so I'm setting it up, but what the Hisuian Electrode is about to do is make it rain. And I forgot that Overquill could, of course, have double the speed and comes in with a huge hit. Not even a crit that time, and Zoroark's gone along with my Terra, and it's like, okay, that's about as bad a start as you could get for this game. And so my options are limited straight away. There we can see we've got the Life Orb on it, that's why it's causing so much damage. Now the rain is up, so I'm thinking, well, okay, Blastoise comes in. So Blastoise, the celebratory, is going to be teeing up some water moves, and we think, okay, we'll stick with Muddy Water, we'll get the spread going. How's that going to play out? It's up against things that it's not very effective against, but we can boost it again. I know we go Tailwind to try and counteract the speed disadvantage. I'm showing off once again just how useful Volbeat can be. Its utility coming in to give us an edge over the threat posed by Overquill, sped up in the rain. One thing I will say is we don't miss many Muddy Waters in this game. End of game one, we missed one. But generally, it's going all right. So Overquill terrors to water, and obviously that's intimidating in these conditions with the rain up. Tailwind comes up, though. Blastoise has got a little bit of speed investment, not a huge amount, but just enough to give us the edge. And Muddy Water comes in, and at this point, it doesn't do very much. Waterfall comes in and slams hard into Volbeat, but somehow Volbeat holds on. Volbeat is not carrying a Focus Sash. Volbeat is Covert Cloak in this battle, so for it to hold on with one hit point is ridiculous. It's got no right to do that. But Blastoise is now slowed down. Thunder Wave is in play, and suddenly the options are looking pretty sketchy. But if memory serves right, something weird happens in terms of the decisions that are made in this game. So we tee up another Helping Hand, hoping that Muddy Waters can land. Muddy Water comes in, clap, clap, clap. Waterfall is going to come in and come in on Blastoise. Now this is important because, okay, so there's another crit. Okay, not enough to kill it, but enough to put it really low down in health. Now the fact that the Electrode goes in and focuses on Volbeat gives me a chance. If it had gone in the Blastoise, we're finished. But here's the interesting thing that happens. Usually Generation 1 starter Pokemon's abilities are mocked as being useless, right? That's generally an accepted narrative. Muddy Water comes in here and causes a huge amount of damage in the rain, and it's doing that because, of course, Torrent has been activated. So we're getting that 50% boost on our water moves. And that Volt switch has suddenly given me a way back into the game. What is going to play out from here is a very, very, very long end game. And, you know, if you're watching this diligently, I would suggest fast forwarding through what's about to happen. Not after, you know, watch this turn. You know, Overquill drops to Sucker Punch. Great, happy with that. And then another Muddy Water is going to come in, and it's going to land successfully on the Torkoal. And all of a sudden, after a terrible turn 1, we are suddenly in a position where it's 2-on-2. Now, one of my Pokemon's knackered. And I don't think at this stage, I don't think I know what the fourth Pokemon is. So it's still not a particularly good situation. The sun is up, which is limiting what Blastoise can do. But there are possibilities here. And then I see Executor come out and I think, well, that's useful. And now this becomes a sort of a classic game of reading Sucker Punches. And in fairness to Angel, you know, she nailed pretty much every play, or just got on with her own game and ignored what I was doing. But the Reflect comes in, and that automatically limits what King Gambit can do. We see another Psychic move coming in, and this time it is enough. So it's 2-on-1. But I'm still thinking King Gambit, who is carrying Assault Vest at this time, you know, he's got 2 special attackers against him. One of them is Psychic. I was like, we've got a reasonable chance here. We see a Protect coming in. I am showing some ignorance as to the moves I've already seen, so Thunder Wave comes in. And really, that Thunder Wave is what's going to win Game 2 for Angel, because I think we get 1 or 2 full paralyses coming in that is just... we just can't cope with it. That berry was problematic as well. Just giving it just enough health to come back in, put me in a difficult situation. The Reflect is going to limit things. But we give it a go. And you look how little damage. I mean, you can see the amount of chip that's there. I was like, okay. We're not taking any damage. And Kowtow Cleave comes in. It's not quite enough because of Reflect. But I'm thinking at this point, these are 2 very knackered Pokemon. I don't need to do much damage to either of them to win this game. Okay? But there's the Paralysis. So Paralysis 1 comes in. And suddenly things are struggling a little bit. The chip damage is building up. We've still got over 50% health. I'm thinking, we're fine. Sucker Punch, obvious choice, but we forget about the Protect. Or Angel makes a perfect read on the Protect. False Swipe, paralyzed again. That's 2 turns of paralysis now. Volt Switch comes in, and there's another critical hit. So all of a sudden, you're getting the feeling like the luck is starting to stack up. I'm thinking, we won't take any chances from here. We'll just start hitting them. Because, you know, they can read out the Sucker Punch. So they've had Protect. Let's just start hitting them for super effective damage and be done with it. All I need to do is to hit these Pokemon twice, once each, and then it's game over and the match is ours. Volt Switch comes in. Little bit more chip damage and a Terra Blast. And what happens? We get the Kowtow Cleave coming in. All of a sudden, it's down to this. It is a tight end game between these 2 Pokemon. And what are the reads going to be? I can't take more than 1 hit. But I figure I try a Kowtow Cleave because it's not been doing that much damage at all. Maybe I got the maths wrong on this. Maybe I got the calcs wrong. Volt Switch comes in, and it's another critical hit. You're counting these at this point. I think in the chat after the game, I was saying to Angel that yeah, there was a lot of swearing at that end game. So as we go into game 3, you know, Am I a touch tilted? Quite possibly. Not that I'm conscious of it, but I go with the same lead again, learning nothing from what's in front of me. But I still know the potential of this team. So I think, well, okay, let's go Tailwind. Let's land the damage and concentrate on that. However, there is another trick in the sleeve. There's another way in which Angel can play this opening turn. And of course, they haven't changed anything either. So we're all sticking with the same plays every single time. And I think Angel's bench, I think she ran with the same thing once more here. So we're going to go for the boost. We're going to commit the Terror from the off. And this time we're going to take Tailwind. Good choice, we think, yeah? Makes a lot of sense to go for Tailwind here. So we do that, but the Protect. And our favourite play coming in as Hussein Electrode is going to drop a Thunder Wave in a minute. And, you know, because we don't go with Helping Hand, we get off a lot of damage, which is a positive, but it's not enough for the knockout, and that gives them the chance to drop the Thunder Wave, which puts us in serious trouble. All of a sudden, my Terrored Zoroark is a little bit stuck now. So we know the Zoroark probably isn't going to get a hit off here, and Volbeat isn't carrying any actual attacks at all. It's all support plays. So we are hoping for the best here, but not expecting much. So I made the decision just to ride it out. You know, we know we're not going to survive this turn with Zoroark still on the field. So we make the most of it and keep the utility of Volbeat for later on in the battle. Throat Chop comes in, huge damage, big problems for us at this point. So as we progress through game 3, I don't think I'd say that this was making a mess of the start of game 3. I think Angel has just played the options quite well. But the fact that that little bit of Life Orb damage has gone out gives us an opportunity, gives us a little bit more flexibility. And this is where Blastoise is going to start flexing and really comes in and starts to close out the game. Now, Angel, by her own admission after the game, makes a mistake here. Okay, the game stays alive if that Overquill terrors to water. But what's going to take me by surprise, and it did as I was watching the game, was nothing terrors here. Now, I don't know what the calcs are. I assume Overquill would have survived. I don't know if it would have made a critical difference in terms of the game, because Blastoise would still have been able to survive most of the hits coming in, I suspect. I said we've got a little bit of speed investment on the Blastoise, but not much, because we have put some into its defences. But this is huge damage coming in. You know, the Rain Up, it's a Stab Muddy Water, it's Helping Hand, with the water amulet thing, and that is a devastating turn, and really from this point very, very difficult for the game to come back, because we protected Volbeat. So we made the read that it was likely to be the same team coming out again. The difference here is Staraptor, and it's like, okay, Staraptor is an exciting choice, but it's not a particularly bulky choice. We have control over the weather, so we're going to switch things on in terms of the rain. Once more, we are expecting a Terror, but if memory serves, I think Angel makes another mistake here, and again, this is a mistake that we talked about after the game. But Blastoise is about to be teed up once more. The rain is coming in. Tailwind is up. So always remember, at this point, sunny conditions are in play, but we're going to shut that down straight away as we come to the end stage of this game. Rain Dance is in, and now Blastoise is teed up once more. Muddy Water comes in. It's going to do huge damage. Not quite enough to kill. I was staggered that Torkoal holds on. But with the recoil damage that comes in, Staraptor is going to take itself out of the game. And Blastoise is dropped, but at this point it doesn't matter. Blastoise has done what Blastoise needed to do. And this is going to take us through to the closing stages of this game. We see Sludge Bomb coming in, but this is easy pickings for King Gambit in the rain with Assault Vest. And this is going to see the end of Game 3, and the Aberystwyth Alcremies are about to wrap up their first win of the Wailord Draft League community season. It's not going to be enough to challenge for playoffs, but it is going to be enough for a little bit of respect for this team who came in replacing a team with a 0-3 record. We've got our target of winning one game for the season at least, and there's a win on the board, and it was a lot of fun, and Blastoise was outstanding in the end. Mistakes or not, we'll take it. GG's Angel, looking forward to playing again in the future.